And the famous Dallas Cowgirls, they've been all over. They were even in Tokyo. Right now they're in Miami, and they're watching the Steelers threaten here with 1:13 to go in the half. First down on the 37 of Dallas. Bradshaw. Oh, another. On the Baryshnikov of football. He gets off the surface higher than the great Russian ballet dancer.
They're going quick, Kurt. Not much time to talk about it. Simply Lynn Swann has it all.
He can jump higher and is more acrobatic than any wide receiver in the game. First down on the Dallas 16. 45 seconds to go. Quick pitch is complete to Franco Harris. No, he dropped it. He dropped it as he was cutting away. He had his back to me, and I didn't see the ball pop out. Randy Hughes and Cliff Harris hit him there, and look at Franco. I should have had it.
Well, the big thing here, now this is the play before it. Lynn Swann comes in the middle. He has the ability to get to the ball at its highest point. I think better than any offensive receiver I've ever seen. The height factor has nothing to do with it. He gets it at his highest point, gives Bradshaw a chance to take every opportunity to throw in the middle.
Does Terry appreciate that? Look at that. You bet he does. John, I think that Stallworth and Swann made a pact today. They were going to see who was going to do the best job, and right now it's about a toss-up. They have both been extraordinary.
What a pair they are. Swann has now caught 4 for 86. Stallworth 3 for 115.
Pretty fair day at the plant.
Oh.
Safety blitz.
Second down 10. Franco Harris to the 10. Breaks the tackle. Goes down at the 7. And the clock shows 33. And to stop there, the Steelers have rushed in and called timeout. One Steeler timeout left in the half. Aaron Kyle upset Harris, or Harris would have taken it in.
And they burned him on a blitz again. Cliffy Harris up right in the line of scrimmage, and he tried to guess the count. Got there a little early. Gave them a chance to adjust. You see him going in. 43, they pick him up right there. 32, Franco Harris did what he's supposed to do. Took advantage of the blitz and got himself out of there. He's mad that he didn't jump over that last guy.
That's the reason for the reaction. He knows there's very few secondary people left when you get by 2 of them. He thought he was going to take it in.
John Kolb and Sam Davis, the left tackle, left guard, did the blocking.
John, again, I'm amazed. And Kurt, the big plays in this game have come off defensive gambles that have backfired just constantly, and yet both defenses continue to blitz. I think that's a tribute to these two offensive teams.
Well, I think primarily the quarterback, because he is the man that has to spot it. A lot has to do with when you call the snap count. If he sees Harris cheating in there, he gives his guards enough time to spot it so they can pick it up. He's got to keep people off balance. I think they've done it to the secondaries of both clubs. I think they've done it to the defenses of both clubs.
I talked to Cliff Harris about the safety blitz, and he said Bradshaw likes to go on that number 1 count, on the first count. He said, I'm going to jump it. He said, I'm going to be there. And he said, if Bradshaw is going on that first count, I'm going to be on him before he can step back. But as you saw, he got there a little too early and tipped his hand.
Here's a setup. It's on the 7-yard line. 3rd down and a yard to go. 33 seconds in the half, and the game is tied 14-0. You saw the visual by our alert NBC crew. Franco Harris now is the leading rusher of all time in Super Bowl games. He had a big one against the Vikings. 3rd and 1. Bradshaw throws. Touchdown.
Oh, my Lord.
Touchdown. Number 20, Rocky Bleier. Bleier, a very underrated player on the Steelers, made an amazing catch there in front of D.D. Lewis.
I am not believing, Kurt, the way that Bradshaw not only laid the ball up, but the movement of Bleier to get to the ball. Now, Terry gave him every chance. However, instead of throwing it just all over the ballpark, he just kind of touched the ball out there. I think it's the biggest improvement in his play over the past couple of years.
And I think Rocky Bleier caught it with sheer determination. He's not that good an athlete, but he said, I'm going to get that football. I'm going to score that touchdown. This whole game has been a game of big plays by people who would not be denied.
They score with 26 seconds to go in the half. Here's the kick. And the kick is good. And we've got a 35-point first half here. Terry Bradshaw has tossed 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Stallworth, 1 to Bleier, and the score is Pittsburgh 21 and Dallas 14.
Okay, you know, you mentioned what Rocky was saying. There's been a lot of people doing a lot of talking. The important thing is he backed it up. He just got it done. intention isn't necessarily a verbal discussion. And he beat Dede Lewis for the ball. Dede was in excellent position to pick it up. And you can see these guys are hanging in there together. Randy Grossman sees the play all the way. Does that tell you something?
The Mel Blount interception and the amazing run after catching a short pass by Lynn Swann is what set up this score. A big score maybe for the Steelers to take into the locker room at halftime.
Very important to carry that momentum into the locker room if you can. And this game has surged back and forth so quickly up and down the field. Just tremendous football. And many people had said this might be the best matchup ever. If the second half is anything like this, it might be one of the best games ever.
I think it's already the best Super Bowl ever.
Roy Gerela will kick off. Dallas a little down right now, but they bounce back twice. The kick is coming to Larry Brinson to the 20, 30, and goes down on the 34 with 20 seconds to go in the half. NBC's Olympic Diary Volume 1, The American Way, will take a preview look at America's top Olympic hopefuls and the men and women they'll probably face at the games of Moscow in 1980. And some real men and women, gentlemen.
You know, I look at gymnastics. I think they've made the biggest gain in America over the past 10 years. Kurt Thomas is really in a world-class gymnast position right now. He's got 3 or 4 challengers that are in the same spot. I can hardly wait for the Olympics, but the gymnastics seem to appeal to me most.
Terry Bradshaw has already broken the Super Bowl passing record in the first half. Bleier down. Staubach hit from behind. Clock stops, 11 seconds to go in the half. Number 68 is the best of the front 4, the quickest, L.C. Greenwood, for the Steelers. And let's see what this flag's about.
It's a motion penalty, Kurt, against the Cowboys. I think that's the first time L.C.'s been on the quarterback all day. Rayfield Wright, who's just accepted his responsibility on the line of scrimmage, has done a good job of keeping L.C. off Staubach during the day.
We had illegal procedure. 5 men in the backfield. Dallas declined.
Maybe that's why they're playing so good.
John, a quick question about the multiple offenses of Dallas. They're certainly confusing to try on defense, but that's one of the problems, isn't it? You sometimes make mistakes yourself when you've got such a complicated system.
You do, but at this time, the execution level is exceptionally high.
There's Thomas. Second down, 10. They declined the penalty. They hand it off. That's Preston Pearson, and he's dumped at the 41-yard line with 4 seconds. 3. They're watching the clock. They're going to come off. This, 2 seconds. Maybe they'll call time.
If I know Roger Staubach, he will.
Yes, he's called it down there. He wants one more shot. He's thrown some pretty famous passes in his time with a few seconds on the clock.
The Hail Mary pass up at Bloomington that beat the Vikings, that took them on to Los Angeles to beat the Rams. I'm sorry to say,
you didn't
Mr.
have
Olson.
to remind me of that, Kurt.
And then took them into the Super Bowl to lose to Pittsburgh 21-17 with 12 rookies in that team.
Quick glance at George Perlis, the defensive coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you can bet he's going to have a bunch of them behind the line of scrimmage and strung out. They don't want to see that ball anywhere near the end zone.
There's a man nobody gets next to before the game in the locker room. They say we don't even want to round him. Jack Lambert. He gets so fired up emotionally that everybody stays away from him.
Intense. And I'll tell you, when we talk about an emotional leader of a team, he is their emotional leader. They feed off that intensity.
They have 3 backs deep for Pittsburgh. 2 seconds to play in the half. The last play of the half. Staubach throws it out just off the fingertips of Preston Pearson. That's the end of a sensational first half of Super Bowl 13 here in the Orange Bowl. And the black-shirted Steelers are in the lead, 21-14.
Let me tell you about a car. An honest-to-goodness, terrific car. This Chrysler Newport. I think it's one of the best values on the market. Compared to Chevy Caprice, for instance, Newport is longer, wider, has a larger trunk, yet Newport's 6-cylinder gas mileage is better. And when you get right down to it, Chrysler Newport is sticker-priced $43 less than Chevy Caprice this year, comparably equipped. Chrysler Newport, now that's value.
Look at yourself, sitting there watching other people play games, while your once hard body grows softer, and another weekend goes down the tube. We say, come on, stop spectating and get in the game. We're AMF. We make what it takes to renovate the body and raise the spirit. We make quality products, Voight balls, Ben Hogan golf equipment, Harley-Davidson motorcycles. AMF, we make weekends.
Hello, I'm Jim Simpson. You've seen messages and stories about the United Way during National Football League games for 5 years now. But maybe no story tells how United Way could help any one of us better than the one that happened right here at the Orange Bowl 3 years ago, to a day when the Steelers and Cowboys were also playing for the championship. It was a day Charlie Waters will never forget.
This was Super Bowl 10 in Miami. My team didn't win that day, but I almost lost something much more important. My dad sat there among 80,000 fans and suffered a heart attack. Split-second timing and a new radio telemetry ambulance that relayed his vital signs to awaiting doctors saved his life. It was a United Way grant that developed this system. It really does work for all of us, the United Way. Right, Dad?
It worked for me.
Well, Charlie's dad is alive today. His story, like so many others, shows that thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
Preceding announcement furnished as a public service by the National Football League. An exciting first half has come to an end at the Super Bowl in Miami as the Steelers lead the Dallas Cowboys 21-14. We have a super special outing for you next Sunday as well, named Bob Hope, and you know you're in for a beautiful night of entertainment. And Bob Hope's guests will be Pat and Debbie Boone, Sammy Davis Jr., and a cast of hundreds, including Debbie Reynolds. And here's a preview of the show next Sunday on NBC.
I don't need that. I'm Superior Man.
You're Superior Man?
Don't you see my big S?
Happy together, unhappy together,
Well, if you think that's funny, I crossed a black widow spider with a horse.
Yeah, what'd you get?
I don't know, but if it ever bites you, you can always ride it to the doctor.
Sunny, yesterday my life was filled with rain.
He's so light on his feet to be so heavy in his seat.
If you're with us on New Year's night for the Orange Bowl telecast, we've heard comment after comment about the excitement of the halftime entertainment. Well, the same people have put together a Super Bowl presentation for this evening. It's called the Caribbean Carnival, and that's coming up next from Miami, Florida, right after we pause for these words from your local station.
That's my husband, Sam.
My wife, Penny.
And this is Turnabout.
A little magic made Penny and Sam switch bodies.
I am in your body and you're in mine.
And sometimes things get too hot to handle. Watch Turnabout Fridays on the new NBC.
When you're looking your best, all the world is a fun place. How to keep a looking your best. Find what you need all in one place.
The place I go is Thrift Drug for great products like Brute Aftershave. Brute's Cream Aftershave is great when the weather dries my skin. And now's the time during Thrift Drug's Great Tape Race. Save your register tapes for big discounts at Thrift. They are experts.
Hang gliding in the Alps is a lot different than it is back in Ellenville, New York. These mountains are a lot harder and trickier because the air currents are constantly changing and there's not much margin for error. After a hard flight like this, I bet these guys would really enjoy the beer we drink back home. Genesee.
Genesee. Now you can also enjoy new Genesee light beer.
Sir,
how come you drive a Volkswagen Rabbit?
Well, I drove Volkswagens for years. And frankly, I wasn't too sure about the Rabbit.
Really?
Really. So I checked it out real good.
And now?
They've done it again. Best Volkswagen I've ever owned.
Would you buy another Rabbit?
Why should I? I owned my last Volkswagen for 7 years.
Volkswagen does it again.
Come on, Pittsburgh! Come on, kill 'em!
On the attitude of the fans, 80,000 here in the Orange Bowl as the two teams left the gridiron after the first half. The Steeler fans were cheering a marvelous Pittsburgh performance, and the Cowboy fans were standing and cheering a great effort by Dallas, and all those who didn't care were standing and cheering as well. It was that kind of first half, and as you think back through the previous 12 Super Bowls, there were times when you wondered if you would get that much action in 2 or 3 Super Bowls, much less in a first half. The Pittsburgh Steelers on 3 Terry Bradshaw touchdown passes lead the Dallas Cowboys 21-14. Not only some great individual effort, but true to the game, hard hitting that has forced 5 turnovers. And of course, of those turnovers, the first 4 produced 3 touchdowns. We'll have all the highlights, all the big plays, the touchdowns for you a bit later. We're going to have the halftime ceremonies, the Caribbean Carnival. They're going to lay out a carpet, a map of the Caribbean that covers the entire gridiron from goal line to goal line. I think you're going to find it a very special halftime performance. We were particularly impressed with the play of Bradshaw after he was injured, and certainly one of the stories in this game will be to get to Bradshaw and find out how seriously he was injured when he was sacked and Mike Hegman stole the ball for a Dallas touchdown. Bradshaw obviously came back. It did not hinder his performance, but checking him on the sidelines, he did appear to be playing in pain. We're waiting now for the introduction of the halftime ceremonies. While we're waiting, let's get Merlin Olsen and John Brody in here and get their feelings about this first half. And gentlemen, I guess just a quick summary is the fact that when you look at all the preparation, anticipation of this event, you wonder if you can ever come up to all that hullabaloo, but I think we've got a good one this time.
John said something very important just before the game. We talked about how difficult it is to work through all of the pressures and all of the things that take away from your concentration. We're fortunate that these teams have been here enough times that they were able to fight their way through that, and they held their concentration intact. The result of that, the great football that we've had in the first half.
You know, when Merlin says that in specifics, the Lynn Swann keeping his poise, the Terry Bradshaw and the Roger Staubach doing the things when all kinds of chaos is breaking loose that it takes a man who is in present time to do. He's done it. Both offenses have done it consistently. The defenses are scrambling, man. And I think next half, it's the kind of football I love. We expected a high-scoring game only because great offenses on both sides, great defenses got them here.
You think Bradshaw's playing hurt, John?
Sure, he's hurting, but he doesn't feel it right now. He's gonna be a little sore in the next couple of days, but he doesn't really care. He's got 6 months to get well. He's throwing the ball, I think, better after he got hit and injured and shaken up a little than he was earlier in the game. I think very simply, he was trying to make good things out of bad situations early, caused 3 turnovers, and it did hurt them. However, he didn't back off. I think 5 years ago, you'd have seen him back off, let Franco and Rocky carry the load. He is the guy that carries the load for Pittsburgh right now, and I'd say he's carrying it as well as anybody in the game.
Question, John. 2 great quarterbacks, obviously. They have to be to react as well as they have to the pressure the defense has put on them. Hasn't that probably been the difference in this game so far? If we hadn't had great quarterbacks, we wouldn't have had those scores. We wouldn't have had those big plays.
And they Merlin, excuse me, John, let's take a look at those statistics, and you have a chance to peruse them yourself. Anything jump out at you? Look at the yards passing for the Steelers, 229. If memory serves me, Bradshaw, amazingly, has never had a 300-yard game.
Well, he's going to have to fall down and pass out not to have one. However, that's the possibility that exposes itself when you're taking chances on defense. And it's very simple why you do that. Stallworth and Swann come up with the real big plays. Randy Grossman makes a couple diving catches. Franco Harris picks up a couple first downs, and away we go.
And Merlin, a quick comment from you.
One of the things we said is that you can't give these 2 quarterbacks time to throw, and neither defensive line has really mounted that much pressure. That's why we're seeing all the blitzing, and I think that has been the story of this first half.
Now let's join the halftime, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl 13 presents a spectacular pageant featuring hundreds of guest performers from the islands of the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Super Bowl Carnival.
There's no way to run. There's none to be found. There's love everywhere.
From the island of Antigua, the In-Trade Harmonite Steel Drum Band. From the country of Haiti, the Haitian National Folk Dance Troupe. From the island of St. Lucia, the True Tones.
I wanna love you until the whole sky drops. I wanna love you right until my heartbeat stops. I wanna love you till the world starts spinning and spinning and spinning the other way.
From the islands of the Bahamas, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band and the Junkanoos. From the British Virgin Islands, Morris, Mark, and the Mark V.
All day, all night, Miss Mary Ann, down by the seaside, seaside. Even little children love Mary Ann, down by the seaside, seaside. We're gonna jump them down, we're gonna jump them down, yeah.
From the island of Curacao, the folkloric ballet group, Dushi Corsao. From the island of Barbados, the Merrymen and the Barbados Dance Theater.
This is a simple calypso. Words don't rhyme, but sing it so. All you really have to know is sing the chorus as you go. When you really get the beat, good Lord, just start to move your feet. And you must get the swing just as long as you sing. La la, la la la.
From the United States island in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico presents Imagen 79.
We gone.
From the island of Jamaica, the Jamaican Military Band. From the island of Dominica, the Grammix International.
Satan.
From the country of the Dominican Republic Ballet Folklorica, Dirección Nacional de Turismo. From the island of Aruba, Anita Ortez and Supernova, and the Sima Danza Folkloric Troupe.
Tempo di carnaval y aquí si está gran mes. Aruba está celebra 25 años de carnaval. Nos salimos parranda, cubijamo. Nos salimos parranda, cubijamo. Nos lucha cunela de madrugada. Nos lucha cunela de madrugada. Carnaval, carnaval, ay que gusta carnaval. Carnaval, carnaval, ay que Aruba su carnaval.
From the country of Trinidad and Tobago, the Pandemonium Steel Orchestra. From the United States Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, the Mongo Jumbies with the West Star Steel Band. Ladies and gentlemen, aboard ship, Mr. Ken Hamilton.
Angelina, Angelina, bring down your concertina and play a welcome for me, cause I'll be coming home from sea. Hey! Angelina, Angelina, bring down your concertina and play a welcome for me, cause I'll be coming home from sea. So long since I've been home to Rome, I sailed around the Horn, I've been from San Jose up to Baffin Bay, I rode down many a storm. Yeah! Angelina, Angelina, bring down your concertina and play a welcome for me, cause I'll be coming home from sea. Ah! Angelina, Angelina, bring down your concertina and play a welcome for me, cause I'll be coming home from sea. Ah! Angelina, Angelina, bring down your concertina and play a welcome for me, cause I'll be coming home from sea.
Come to my island,
to be found. There's love everywhere, you feel it in the air. Come to my island, there's plenty of room. It's the kind of place you want to come to real soon. Come to my island, just you and me. Come to my island where we'll be free. Come to my island, just you and me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Super Bowl 13's Carnival.
Come to my island, just you and me. Come to my island where we'll be free. Come to my island, just you and me. Come to my island where we'll be free. Oh, come to my island, just you and me. Come to my island where we'll be free. Come to my island, just you and me. Come to my island where we'll be free.
With all those balloons popping, it sounds like a giant bowl of Rice Krispies here in Miami. And we had plenty of snap, crackle, and pop in that first half. And 2 new Super Bowl records by Terry Bradshaw. First man to ever throw 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl. And also 253 yards for Bradshaw. That breaks the old record set by Bart Starr of 250 yards in Super Bowl I. Here now the highlights, including not only the hard hitting, but the brilliance of both offensive teams. First, Bradshaw and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were put in business when on this flea flicker try by the Cowboys, John Banaszak recovers the fumble. Bradshaw, typical of his play all season long, tough on third down, hits John Stallworth, a portent of what was to come in the first half. Stallworth first down at the 38. From the 28, Stallworth again, the Alabama A&M star, makes the catch, and the Pittsburgh Steelers take the early 7-0 lead. Roger Staubach comes right back. The second-year man from Stanford, Tony Hill, picks one off, eludes Donnie Shell, and down the left sidelines he goes to tie the game for the Cowboys. It's 7-7, 39-yard play. Here's the big play, the one they'll be talking about. Thomas Henderson and Mike Hegman corral Terry Bradshaw. While Henderson's throwing him down, Hegman steals the ball. The young man from Tennessee State in his third year, this would have to be his biggest pro football or football thrill throughout his young career. A touchdown to give the Cowboys a 14-7 lead, a 37-yard play. But Bradshaw and the Steelers came right back, and again was that man Stallworth, a great open field run. After the catch, he turns a 10-yard pass into a 75-yard touchdown, and the Steelers come right back to tie it at 14. Then, with 1 minute left to play from the 7-yard line, Bradshaw rolling right, ends his time and finds Rocky Bleier. He caught only 1 touchdown pass all year, picks that one off with a half-minute remaining in the first half, and the Pittsburgh Steelers lead the Dallas Cowboys 21-14 in a superb first 30 minutes of play. Super Bowl 13 is being brought to you by Dodge, the makers of the all-new St. Regis, a full-size car with value you can measure. The 1979 St. Regis by Dodge. By the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by the people who bring you delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. Coke adds life to the Super Bowl. And by IBM, helping put information to work for people.
You can feel the heat before you even get close. But the only way to kill the flames is to fight them face to face until they finally die, and you lead your men to cooler air and Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
1934. And Joe Jamar over there, he dreams of farming this desert. But where would he get the money to drill for water over 1,000 feet down? Where? From the money folks keep in their full-service bank. You see, America's bankers back Joe and thousands of other farmers, too. So today, food from the San Joaquin Valley reaches every table in America. Your money in the bank made it possible. America's bankers, helping you change things for the better.
Join the people who are taking advantage of the opportunities for training and education offered by the armed forces. Join the few and the proud as they serve their country and work toward a better tomorrow. It's not just a job, it's an adventure and a great way of life. Contact your local armed forces recruiter for all of the details.
Give me a smile with everything on it, and I'll pass it on. So give me a coat when you smile, and I promise to pass it along. I'm gonna pass it along. The world needs a break when it's tired and thirsty. Coke and a smile is how it should be. Coke as life, Coca-Cola and life.
With 30 minutes or more to go, the Steelers of Pittsburgh lead the Cowboys of Dallas 21-14 in Super Bowl 13. And one thing for certain, gentlemen, it has not been an unlucky game for the fans.
They certainly have been fortunate because they've been treated to super football in this first half of this Super Bowl, Dick. And I think one of the exciting things that happened is that it looked like the game was going to go into a running game. At first, Dorsett knocked off about 45 yards very quickly, and Franco was able to get some early shots, but suddenly the running game disappeared on both sides, and they had to go to their passing game. And the excitement of this game has come from big plays by the quarterbacks and by the receiver.
And when you talk about strategy in the second half, you go in the locker room, and I'm sure that Staubach isn't concerned. He'll take whatever Landry gives him. But I know Bradshaw wants to define what he's going to do. A couple things on offense, a couple on defense. If I'm sitting in Landry's dressing room, give the ball to Tony Dorsett. He's averaged about 6.7 a carry, and then start throwing it.
Let's talk about Terry Bradshaw for a moment, because apparently he's going to build himself quite a headline regardless of whether the Steelers win or lose. He's already set 2 Super Bowl records in 30 minutes of play. Bradshaw with 3 touchdown passes and also 253 yards passing. He has never had a 300-yard game in his career.
And I think you're seeing the reason why it's not always a good idea to throw a whole multiplicity of defenses at a top-notch quarterback. 5 years ago, he may not have handled them. He handles them as well as anybody right now. He's given his talent people a chance to really show what they can do in the biggest game of football. And I just love it.
Okay, Merlin, Terry Bradshaw's had a big first half. If you're Tom Landry, you have to do something defensively to slow him down.
Well, I think Landry was throwing about everything he had. They were throwing all the safeties, and they were blitzing, and they got burned a few times. But they have got their hands full, not so much in the fact that they are outmanned, but the big plays that have come out of the first half. I think that's the exciting thing. It's Swann and Stallworth going up to steal that pass out of the air. And I'm sure Landry is concerned. He'll make some adjustments, but most of his stuff comes from that computer. You said it earlier, John. He may tell a computer to take a hike in the second half.
I just think he's filed it, and I've seen some of the defensive tendencies that have occurred in the first half. I think he's filed it to a degree. I played against him in 2 big games. He filed it in both of those, and they filed us.
The start of the telecast, both of you had a comment about never playing in a Super Bowl. And suddenly you're in the midst, as an observer and reporter of one. What are your feelings?
Are we going to do this? Well, you get caught up in the emotion of everything. And that just happy to be here, which I'm sure everybody had that feeling 2 weeks ago, is no longer the key. It's only happy to win at this point. The moods change. I really don't know. I'm enjoying doing the game, and I must say that the adrenaline flow is high.
Dick, let me have one comment. Players coming back on the field. I wonder how much this long half, and it's been a very long half, has cooled them off. Players used to coming out after a 15-minute half, and I think they're probably a little concerned that they maybe have lost some of that physical momentum and lost some of their emotional momentum. I'd hate to see that happen. We've had so much great football in this first half.
Now, Pittsburgh leads 21-14, but look at the statistics. If you were to see those numbers and not know the score, you would think Dallas would be behind by much more than a touchdown.
But actually, those statistics are a little misleading in that it was 2 big plays that really got Pittsburgh on the ball. There was no sustained drive, 42 and 41 yards respectively, running the football, I think, indicate the evenness of the game. So whoever gets the big plays in this half, I think will win the football game.
The turnovers, 3 by Pittsburgh, and the Cowboys capitalize on 2 of those for their 2 touchdowns.
Well, it's been a game of certainly of turnovers as well as big plays, and The first of those turnovers saved what could have been an opportunity for Pittsburgh to get on the board before Dallas had gotten anything up.
Terry Bradshaw seems to be in a good mood as he warms up along the sidelines, and he isn't showing any signs of any injury. And how about Roger Staubach? Let's take a peek at him.
I think both of them, Dick, are just after it. They're both alert. They're effective. Roger's stats don't show it as much as Terry's do. However, his players have not broken loose for the big game. I think you'll see him go some to Billy Joe DuPree, which he didn't do much of in the first half. I don't think he'll go as much to his wide receivers. He really didn't throw the ball that much.
We're getting ready for the second half, and a man who has seen more of these Super Bowls than anyone in this booth is standing to our right, Curt Gowdy. Curtis, what are your feelings as we go into the next 30 minutes?
My feelings is right there, number 12 in the white, Roger Staubach, is going to be the key in this second half. He was under a big rush, even sometimes in the shotgun. Got the ball away. Another amazing fact has been Tony Dorsett. He had 45 yards rushing in the first period, and that was before the first quarter was over, and wound up with 47 yards for the half. So the Steelers did something to really check him in the second period. There is Dorsett. I still feel their best chance is to get the ball to him, running, sweeping, throw the ball to him on screens, or get him out there with flaring and let him go to work one-on-one. And this is a magnificent sight at night here in what they call the Magic City, where the Orange Bowl is held, that NBC carries, and the second half now coming up of Super Bowl 13. Dallas will kick with the wind. And the kick is fielded by Larry Anderson on the 15, 25, 30, 35. He has been an outstanding kick returner all year. He's averaged 25 yards on kick returns. And now we go to the third quarter. You might be interested in individual stats. Dorsett's the leading rusher, 47. Franco Harris has 40. The rest of them, Bleier only 2 yards, Newhouse 0. Pearson minus 13. First down, Pittsburgh on their own 40. Harris knocked down back on his 34-yard line. Bob Bruning shot through that time, the middle linebacker.
You see Bruning trying to get him fired up down there. He's saying, hey, let's pin him down right here. Force the ball to turn over. First series of the second half. Always very important to establish some kind of momentum. Get the game asserted again, and the Cowboys need to get it going for themselves right now.
All right, that same front four, Jones, Cole, White, and Martin. Hegman's all right, he's back in there. Henderson, Bruning, Randy Hughes, passing down maybe. Throws it on the run over the head of his intended receiver, Rocky Bleier. Hegman was covering number 58. He had a bad leg at the end of the first half, and they took him to the locker room. But evidently he's all right. Third and 15.
Excuse me, Curt. Randy White in there with a vengeance on that play, and Sam Davis had a hold of him from the backside. It looked like he was dragging along bouncing.
Terry Bradshaw, quarterback. Bleier and Harris, the running backs. Theo Bell's now in there, and Stallworth is out. Swann is the other wide receiver. Grossman, the tight end. Kolb, Davis, Webster, Mullen, and Penny are the interior linemen. Third and 15. They're in a slot right. Bradshaw on the run, completes the pass. It's completed his own 44 to Theo Bell, who went out, but he's short of a first down. And now Pittsburgh must punt.
It's the only thing that Theo Bell could do under the conditions. He sees Bradshaw running to his right. Normally you find an open space, give your quarterback a chance to get you the ball. He knows the only place that Terry can even get rid of the ball is right in that line of flight. He does, picks up a few yards. They've got a punt.
Here's a first punt for Pittsburgh. Craig Colquitt's a rookie. Watch him. He only uses 2 steps. He has not had a kick block. 1, 2, and it's gone. Against the wind. On the 15, a fair catch call there by Butch Johnson. And the Cowboys will have the ball now. And we're going to have a timeout as we're early in the third period in the score. 21-14 Pittsburgh.
Come sink your teeth into a McDonald's Big Mac. It's the one and only taste.
It's the one and only taste. One and only taste. For the flavors in Tennessee. The one and only taste. One and only taste. In Washington, D.C. The one and only Big Mac. Way down in Santa Fe. In Buffalo and Idaho and out on Cape Cod Bay.
A McDonald's Big Mac, it's the one and only hamburger with that terrific 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun taste. Come and get it.
It's the one and only Big Mac from the one and only place. Nobody else can duplicate that one and only taste. At McDonald's, we do it all for one and only taste for you.
Backstairs at the White House, the intimate stories of the presidential families who served and the people who served them, their tragedies and triumphs. Monday, January 29th.
The Cowboy backfield will be Staubach at quarterback, Dorsett, Newhouse, the running back. Stallworth has a bad ankle. They're working on his leg. That's why he was not in there in the first series for the Steelers.
Kurt, I think what he has is leg cramps. By the way, I saw them rubbing his calves, and if it is, I think he can be back.
First down. There's the charge. Newhouse hit behind the line of scrimmage. White, the right end, is in there. He's starting the second half, number 78.
Part of the strength of this Pittsburgh defense in the last half of the year came about after they started to alternate White and Banasek at that right end, because the two of them in combination have just really been much stronger than they were as one individual playing throughout the half. Watch it for yourselves. White gets tremendous penetration, just blows people off the line and grabs it back before he even has a chance, and Newhouse a tough back to put down.
Second down, 12. Cowboys from their 13. Roger to throw. Comes back the other way, and the flag is dropped. It was a crossing pattern by Tony Dorsett. The flag went down in the Dallas secondary.
I'll tell you, you know the officials are on their job. Away from the play, Donnie Shell and Billy Joe DuPree were having a go at it, and I think you're going to find Donnie Shell gets a holding call.
This will be an automatic first down for the Cowboys.
Going to be interesting to see if these teams are willing to continue with their big play philosophy in the second half.
We have number 31, holding, defense, first down.
You're right, John. Don Shell, number 31. The torpedo, they call him. 18-yard line of Dallas, first down. Pittsburgh leading 21-14 early in the third quarter.
I'll stay right here, Jim.
Staubach. In the eye. They usually run out of this one. Pearson in motion. Short man, and that's Newhouse. He's had a -2-yard total running. That's his best gain of the day, and he's brought down by Jack Ham, number 58, the outside left linebacker, and Jack Lambert.
Mark of respect for a defensive lineman. How many men do you put on him? One on L.C. Greenwood. Watch L.C. fight off the first block. Billy Joe DuPree into the second block. Finally gets a piece of the tackle right there. Some great defensive line play.
They take Newhouse out and put Scott Laidlaw in, his 4th year from Stanford. First time they've changed those running backs, the Cowboys. Second down, 5. That's what they call a full eye. Now they put it in motion. Now they're all fouled up.
Too much time. You had a good look, John, at the stand-up motion of the line and also the motion out of the backs. does that tend to confuse, as we said earlier, your own team as much as it does the defense?
I think there the confusion was that Roger did not know when the clock started, because very seldom in this game does a man take over 30 seconds to get his play executed. And when you know when that clock starts, you're ready to go. He may have had his attention in another area. It crept up on him. He wasn't ready to handle it.
I think that's one of the weaknesses of sending the plays from the sideline, too. It takes time, John.
Second down, 10. 18-yard line of the Cowboys. Drew Pearson in motion. Staubach on the play action. Dropping deep. Nobody open. He takes off. He's at the 20, 25, and he goes down. He's close to a first down on his 28-yard line. And it was Joe Green that brought him down. He can still run his 10th year in the league.
And he only does it at the proper time. You know, a quarterback at his age he's not running that offense to run the ball from the line of scrimmage. He gets caught, tries to get a first down. He knows where the distance is. He does everything he can to get there.
He got great help from his backs on those two ends. They looked like they were going to have a shot at him, but they got knocked off their feet. Staubach able to roll out and make the yardage.
Talking to Roger, I said, what's your secret of your stardom, your longevity? He works out 2 hours every day in a gymnasium that he's built in his own garage. And he said, I've never had a serious leg injury. There's Newhouse, who's had a leg injury and has just been taken out. Now you have a first down for the Cowboys. They're on their own 29. The score, 21-14 Pittsburgh. 11:30 to go in the third period. There are the first downs. This is a strong left formation. Dorsett. Oh, he cut down. He's hit hard to Robin Cole, the linebacker, and Steve Furness helped him, number 64.
Robin Cole to the outside on that one, Kurt. It looked like Dorsett was going to have a chance to break it up. Cole boxed him a little bit, made him cut back inside, and then just put a tremendous hit on him. Watch right here. Cole from the outside. He just buries Dorsett. That's a big defensive play, and that'll discourage a back from running up in there.
And it's amazing how the Steelers have stopped Dorsett since the first period. As we said, you can stop him a lot, and then suddenly he can break one. Second down, 9. Rambling away. Down he goes. He makes a gain out of what looked like a broken play. There was nobody open, and it's Furness who hauled him down from behind again.
Okay, that's a double screen pass. Both of his screen men were covered by linebackers. What does it do? It leaves the middle open if he can get underneath the pass rush. He was able to do it. That was the only option he had left. Came close to picking up a first down. Looks like it'll be about third and 1.
The flag, disregard it.
A flag accidentally thrown.
Take a look. Here he goes. Little fake to the right or to the left. Comes back to the right, and his screen is covered by Greenwood, who makes a fine play on that. Now Roger has to go up underneath. Well pursued by the linebackers and the defensive linemen, but close to a first down.
Sometimes that happens for you. You anticipate it, you feel it. There's 58 Lambert working on DuPree, and he's got him held off pretty well. Lambert's the guy that's going to come back in and make a piece of that tackle. Back to the live action, Kurt.
Right, they have two tight ends. Short yardage, third and a yard. Laidlaw, and they stop him. Cole. Laidlaw hit by Robin Cole. Jack Lambert. Cole is fired up here in the opening of the third quarter.
Steve Furness had limped off the field. They sent in a replacement for him, 67, Gary Dunn. And the Cowboys went directly at Dunn. 35, cuts it inside. But there's Lambert, there's Dwight White, there's Gary Dunn, there's Robin Cole, all the black shirts.
And I think what really is indicated here is the fact that they have taken the ball to Robin Cole. In doing so, he's been up to the task. Where do you go from there?
All right, punting for his fourth time now, Danny White. He averaged 35 yards a kick in the first half. Plenty of time. A nice kick, Theo Bell back, 20-yard line. They wallop him down on his 24, and that's Benny Barnes, number 31, who went down to cover. The punt was good for 43 yards. And we're going to take a timeout here. 9:15 to play in the third quarter. Pittsburgh 21, Dallas 14.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the three of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
See, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this
yeah,
is... No, wait
well,
a
this
minute.
is...
Wait a minute.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Peel my label.
One day each summer, practically every town in America celebrates its heritage in a uniquely American way. The 4th of July parade, but without insurance to protect the people who make everything from uniforms and instruments to flags and francs. The 4th of July might look like any other summer day. Crum & Forster, working with more than 9,000 independent insurance agents and brokers, helping insure the American way of life.
On Sports World, professional skiing from Aspen, full contact karate from Tokyo, women's pro surfing from Hawaii, and blackjack from Las Vegas next Sunday.
You'll have to have big plays from your special teams. Watch Benny Barnes as he comes down, eludes the first man, eludes Smith. Now watch the hit on T-Bell right here. Benny Barnes puts a great shot on him. 2 men in on that tackle. The other one, 56. Hollywood Henderson, and they put T-Bell right in the air.
And they are the two wide men on punt. Stallworth is back in the game for the Steelers. Good news for Steeler fans. He's had a big first half. First down, Pittsburgh on their own 24. Franco Harris hit. Both running games being stalled. Harris knocked down behind the line of scrimmage by Ed Jones, who's been penetrating that Pittsburgh backfield.
Franco tried to put a couple of moves on him. Too tall, wouldn't bite. Then he said, hey, you ain't going nowhere this time.
On the 21 of Pittsburgh, it is 2nd down, 13.
We've had several cases of leg cramps, Kurt, and I think that's an indication of emotion a lot of times. I think you burn off so much energy that the muscles begin to knot up, and I think we've seen it on both sides of the line.
Bradshaw looks them over. They have Hegman in there, Randy Hughes, Dave Stalls. This is their passing defense. So they run the ball. Rocky Bleier. He hasn't had it much today, and he's stopped by Thomas Henderson. That's the 2nd carry in the game for Rocky Bleier.
Isn't it awfully dangerous if you come out with a lead in the second half and kind of pull your wings in? Looks like Pittsburgh pulled back a little bit.
I'm not necessarily sure that that's what's happening. They're trying to get the ball moving on the ground. They feel they can. Pittsburgh has been out of the flex, which allows them to do a little more trapping, exploit things they haven't been able to. However, Dallas has stuffed them on the ground.
Now we have a 3rd down and 11. Pittsburgh under 23. Bleier in motion. Flag is down. Flag is down. This may be an illegal procedure. They blew it dead before the ball was snapped. That's it, a legal procedure against Pittsburgh. Chuck Noll. It's amazing how both these clubs have operated. Pittsburgh came behind the Cowboys and have operated their organization the same as Dallas. By draft choices, no trades, rearing them right on your own farm and bringing them up.
You know, I think, too, the similarities between both Tom Landry and Chuck Noll is consistency. They let everybody know where they stand. They're the same every day, and I think it has a lot to do with their success.
They have a 3rd down and 16. He shoots it out. Oh, a dangerous pass out there. Incomplete. Benny Barnes was covering Lynn Swann. Charlie Waters nearly dashed in there and intercepted it. And the Cowboys have held, and now Pittsburgh must punt against the wind.
Not an optimum situation throwing the ball on your own 20-yard line. Bradshaw has so much confidence between he and Swann that he's going to take the chances that a lot of quarterbacks wouldn't take. Linebacker made a perfect drop, made Benny Barnes' job easier. Swann almost came up with it anyway.
Dallas should get good field position. He's punting against the wind. He gets it away, end over end. Johnson on his 46, 50, 45, and down to the Pittsburgh 42-yard line where the Cowboys have the ball.
Dangerous punt. Low, no hang time. They're lucky Butch didn't get that further back into their territory.
Timeout in the Orange Bowl. 7:37 to go in the third quarter. It is still 21-14 Pittsburgh.
Long ago, I learned that all engineering is a matter of designing machines to solve problems. I'm Neil Armstrong. In the Apollo program, I acquired a respect for the ability of Chrysler Corporation engineering to help solve some of the incredible problems of space travel. Now I've seen what they've done for cars, and I'm convinced Chrysler engineering has solved many of the problems that concern all drivers. By pioneering the use of front-wheel drive in small American-built cars, they've given them a new kind of control and handling. For the bigger cars, they have engines and transmissions that are right for the times. Sport coupes have been given clean, aerodynamic designs that slice through the wind. As an engineer, I find the cars from Chrysler Corporation exciting, innovative approaches to the needs we all have today. I think you will, too.
It's brothers and sisters.
Look at that face.
They're the wild and zany guys and girls of Crandall College. Brothers and sisters following Super Bowl 13.
They turned the ball over because this play was not complete. However, look at the dependability of Swann coming out of his cut. Bradshaw knows where he's going to be, gives him every chance. This ball did actually short hop just before Swann got it. But when you can catch him on a short hop, on the high fly, anywhere they throw him, you're going to get a few good calls. This is just an alert call by the official.
Drew Pearson, by the way, has not had a reception in this game. First down, Dallas. They're on to Pittsburgh, 42 out of the eye. Dorsett back to Staubach. Deep it goes to Hill. No good. Hill was covered all the way. Staubach knocked down. Dorsett back to Staubach. They pulled that one against New England, and it worked to Tony Hill in the regular season.
Ron Johnson covered the play all the way on Tony Hill. But take a look. It sets up for Staubach to throw a little flea flicker, as they call it. You hand the ball off. That's the key to get after the ball carrier. But boy, Roger takes his lumps on this baby.
How long can you take that until it starts to pay a price on you?
Well, he's taken it for a number of years, and he gets up after each one.
He's got hands like a defensive tackle. I looked at him the other day. He's got fingers pointing every direction.
No, like an old catcher. Like an
There
old
you go.
baseball catcher. 5 out of 11 for Roger. Second down, 10 for the Cowboys. Pearson in motion. There's the toss. Dorsett cutting back and is jammed at the 38-yard line of the Steelers. And there to meet him was L.C. Greenwood, number 68. Arkansas A&M. 9 sacks this year. He led the Steelers in getting to the quarterback. Third down, 6.
Tony Hill, second year out of Stanford, already in the Pro Bowl. Now, you know that Drew Pearson had a lot to do with getting him in there because wide receivers work in tandem. However, this time he got his lunch eaten.
He got stuffed.
All right.
They have a rookie wide receiver, Robert Steele, in there. Shotgun spread. Staubach looks him over, fires, completes it to the 29 of Pittsburgh for a first down. And that was quite a catch there by Preston Pearson.
Tell me that Roger Staubach can't still fire that ball when he has to. 2 linebackers standing on either side of the receiver. He's back there, finds a little hole, and really fires the ball. Preston Pearson is in there because he finds the holes between linebackers.
Preston Pearson, a great basketball player. They call him blood, muscle, and bones. He does not have 1 ounce of fat on him. And here's Septién trying to warm up his leg.
Hope he doesn't miss that net.
First down. Cowboys in the Pittsburgh 29. The cutback. Dorsett is trying to cut back for daylight. Hit by Jack Lambert, number 58, who is waiting for him in the middle.
L.C. Greenwood cut underneath the tackle, Rayfield right, and he put a shot on Roger just as Roger handed that one off. Roger said, hey, I have got the ball. You go after Tony.
Second down, 9. Only 3 members of this Cowboy 45-man squad have ever played for another coach than Tom Landry. They were Pearson, Jackie Smith, and Septién.
Lambert getting a shot right on the inside, able to slip back out and get a piece of that tackle.
Second down, 9. Laidlaw through over the 25 and a quick opener to the 22. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert teamed up to gather him in.
Laidlaw seems to find the hole since they've inserted him in place of Bob Newhouse when he got injured. Laidlaw has had several outstanding games, been a very integral part of the whole Dallas offense. Here you see he finds holes where they don't seem to be.
Doesn't hurt to be in the backfield with number 33, Tony Dorsett. And also the guy hit on that tackle again, we might add, Jack Ham, the saving tackle.
They have a double tight end offense. Third down and 3. They're on the Pittsburgh 22. Sweeping Dorsett, he cuts. And he squirms forward and gets the first down. Dorsett dived and wriggled and got there. Ron Johnson, the rookie cornerback, brought him down.
Watch the battle going on inside as they're driving Ham to the outside. Picks up again on the second block. That's Rafferty getting a piece of it. Dorsett does a lot of that on his own. Just cuts inside and literally crawled for the last 4 or 5 yards. But they cut down the inside pursuit. They got Lambert, they got the inside lineman, and Dorsett got a chance to do his thing.
And Laidlaw was the guy that got Lambert.
Yes, he did.
Dorsett, the leading ball carrier in the game. Both teams playing much more conservatively this quarter than they did in the first half. 21-14, Pittsburgh in the lead. 3.5 to play in the third quarter. He'll pass on first down. He shoots it out, and it's incomplete. Meant for Billy Joe DuPree, the tight end. They haven't gone to him much today.
They have tried to go to him. Donnie Shell has played him like a shadow all day long. They put a big burden on Donnie Shell because DuPree is an outstanding tight end. He's playing in bump and run position. That's really tough now because once he gets down the field, you have to keep your hands off him. He's shadowing him, and he's really responsible for the play.
Well, it has to be aggravating for him. Staubach under quite a bit of pressure from Joe Green, who came around on a stunt. But you see how close Donnie Shell is to DuPree, and I think that really is bothering him, John. You put your finger right on it.
Second down, 10. Dallas on the Pittsburgh 17. Dungy's in there. Dorsett, they had a blitz on. Dorsett goes to the 10. They had a blitz, a safety blitz.
All right, how many times? We've seen it twice in this ball game. Franco Harris broke early in the second quarter, almost scored. Staubach just staggers the count a little bit, allows his offensive linemen to get it straight, get their assignments under order. As they do so, Dorsett almost takes that one in.
Well, he sure did. He broke it out clean. Very, very dangerous. Watch Donnie Shell, number 31. He's got to come up and try and save this on Dorsett. If he doesn't make the tackle, it's 6 points.
It is 3rd and 3, and they're getting some power in there now. Andy Frederick, Billy Joe DuPree, and Jackie Smith. Look at that.
Hope
That's
it's not a receiver.
Thomas Henderson.
I wonder if he can hang on to anyone with that. I don't know. Sticky kid stuff.
Hope he doesn't get stuck to himself.
I think he might be stuck on himself. I don't know.
We have a timeout on the field. And with the timeout, 2:46 to go in the third period. 21-14, Pittsburgh.
Don't you ever call this a regular battery? This is the Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cell. This is no regular battery. For the typical calculator, you can't buy a longer-lasting all-purpose power cell than 9-volt Ever-Ready Alkaline. So when you want long-lasting energy for these calculators, think Ever-Ready Alkaline. I dare you to call it regular. I dare you.
Eastern Airlines Flight 19.
Last year, over 100,000 passengers on all airlines found a ticket was no guarantee of a seat. Airlines overbook because passengers with reservations don't always show up. Eastern's found a better way to help offset no-shows, the conditional reservation. You know in advance your flight is booked and you might not get on, but you fly free later if you don't. Eastern's performance in honoring reservations is much better than any competitors. At Eastern, we have to earn our wings every day.
The 13th ranked Warriors of Marquette take on the 8th ranked Blue Devils of Duke next Sunday on NBC.
NBC Sports.
We'd like to let our viewers know there's a great new show coming up on NBC. preview of Brothers and Sisters. It'll be seen in its entirety over most of these stations at the conclusion of our Super Bowl coverage. And I know you're going to like it. All about life in a fraternity and a sorority.
I was in one of those.
Hell, I was in one. Fraternity. It's on the 10-yard line right now. As we look down over the Orange Bowl, the Cowboys are grinding it out with a conservative attack. They have two tight ends, a second-string tackle, Henry Frederick, in there, and they have a 3rd down and 2, and they're on the Pittsburgh 10. And they're behind, and they're going to throw.
Oh, he's got him wide
open. Drop. Veteran Jackie Smith. He's a great human interest story. 15 years with the Cardinals. First time he ever got a chance to go to the Super Bowl, signed by the Cowboys, and he let a sure touchdown pass get away.
He has helped them all year. I can remember playing a Pro Bowl in 1965 with Jackie Smith. Not many players play that long at that position. But what happens here? Roger Staubach's got all the time in the world. Jackie Smith is wide open, nobody within 10 yards of him, and almost too far open. Too much time to think. Staubach pulled the plug a little bit. Now we're going for a 27-yard field goal.
Something else happened on that play that might have a real bearing on the game, too. It looked like Lambert may have been injured on the play. He's left the field. We'll try and get a report on him. But this becomes a big play with 2:39 left. The Cowboys need to get some points right here.
Now, there wasn't a man within 10 yards of him. Waters will hold for Septién. 27-yard attempt. And the kick is good. The Cowboys got only 3 out of the drive, and they missed what would probably been a sure 7.
Well, I'm sure that no one on the field knows that more than Jackie Smith, a great veteran. I'll tell you the thing that's amazing to him, or about him, is that they timed him early in the year. This is his 17th year of professional football. They timed him at 4.65 and 4.67 as we're watching the inside.
I think what you're going to see, and why, a good reason why he was so open, Lambert gets hurt a little bit here. I think he's picked up by Laidlaw again, and there is no one in the middle. It's like, it might have been a blown assignment. You very seldom leave anybody that unguarded. However, those are the kind of opportunities that occasionally come. When they do, you must take advantage of them.
We've had a lot of cracked and broken ribs during the year, and you see a helmet right to the ribs of Lambert. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not what they're working on the sideline over there.
This is the score, the way the Super Bowl 10 ended, 21-17 Pittsburgh. But we're still in the 3rd quarter here with 2:36 to play. Septién kicking off. Anderson's deep. They're trying to kick it away from him. It is going out of bounds, and Dallas will come back and re-kick from their own 30.
Got Ted Peterson down there having some fisticuffs with someone. Hollywood and Henderson? No. That's Guy Brown, 59. There's a lot of emotion on that field. They're cooking down there.
Staubach talking to Jim Myers, the assistant coach. Assistant head coach, they call him.
You see Jackie Smith, and sometimes, you know, you don't, when you're not in there on a regular basis, you're just doing everything you can to help at any given time. He couldn't have run a better pattern. He couldn't have fooled the defense any more than he did, and I think his reaction after he didn't catch it tells it all.
He's a master at those sneak patterns, too. He knows how to hide, doesn't he?
He's as good as there is, and it's pretty hard to hide at 230 and 6'4".
He retired 13 months ago. Bud Wilkinson and the Cardinals tried to talk him coming back to St. Louis. He said no, and then he finally went with the Cowboys and made the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, it just dropped a pass wide open in the end zone. The kick again by Septién. Larry Anderson waits for it on the 9. He's up to the 15, 20, 25. Ooh, he hit, and down he goes on the 28-yard line. And he's hit there by Robert Steele, the rookie wide receiver, and also Thurman, number 32. The United States Olympic Committee will receive the net proceeds from an additional commercial scheduled in this program under an agreement made with NBC for the broadcast of the United States Olympic trials. NBC acknowledges the cooperation of the NFL in helping to broadcast that commercial announcement. There's Lambert. They've been working on him. Theo Bell's in and Stallworth's out, so Stallworth must be injured again. Pittsburgh from their 28. They're leading by 4. Bradshaw. Off they go to Franco Harris, and he's hit by Randy White, number 54. And the Steelers have gone conservative here in the third quarter.
We talked about the fact that if they do that, they stand a chance of getting in real trouble against these Cowboys.
All right, we've discussed that, and sometimes when you're not executing well, it looks like you're becoming conservative. In the last drive, he threw 2 balls. They were incomplete. It's the execution of Dallas's defense which is making them look conservative. You still have to be aggressive no matter what play you call.
Bradshaw's 12 out of 21 in the game. Second down, 6. Jones is after him. Nearly intercepted, not quite. Pass intended for Theo Bell, and Aaron Kyle was trying to flash in front of him. 3rd and 6, and Dallas is now stopping the Pittsburgh passing game.
Well, and Terry Bradshaw here again was trying to make a good play out of a bad situation. The pass rush forced Theo Bell out of his original pattern. Aaron Kyle played excellent defense. And we see Too Tall limping off the field. That can't be a good sign for Dallas.
And he has been a terror today in that Pittsburgh backfield.
Well, doing a great job of holding Ed White. What a frustrating day for him. That's Cove, number 55, working on him, giving him everything but his lunch to carry back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down. 8. Bradshaw trying to get out of the pocket. Throws on the run. A skidding grab. It's complete. At the 44, Theo Bell made the grab, and it'll be a Pittsburgh first down.
They must have a receiver factory back in Pittsburgh. We know about Stallworth and Swann. Theo Bell looks like a carbon copy. I can remember Frank Lewis a couple years back, Ronnie Shanklin. They all look like the same type of receiver. You're still looking for their weakness after they've beaten you. Now watch Bradshaw. He is going to take a lick. Once you throw that ball on the run, you're pretty much fair game, and he gets his shot.
Paying the price back there. Somebody else paid the price. 72 Mullins is on the ground, and Steve Corson has come in. The hitting on the field has continued at a rapid pace, has left a lot of people laying on the ground. You wonder if those are cheap shots. No, they're not. The straight shot from Laidlaw to Lambert, and I don't see this one take place, but the hitting down on the field is just a crescendo of noise up here.
You know, Terry's been around the NFL 9 years. He's never passed for 300 yards, and here in the Super Bowl today, he has 275 yards in passing completions.
Ooh, boy, that hurts just to see Bradshaw roll on the ground that way, doesn't it?
The one good thing is all those replays only got him one lick.
He only had to do it for real one time.
We saw him from several different angles.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he doesn't have to take that abuse more than once.
Jerry Mullins is leaving the field. And Steve Corson, number 77, will replace him at right guard.
Apparently someone stepped on Too Tall Jones's ankle. We've got a lot of replacements in the game right now. Larry Bethea has gone in for Too Tall, and Steve Corson, of course, playing guard in there.
And the level of play hasn't dipped. May indicate something
Too
about
Tall's
the level
back
of play
in
of
there.
both clubs.
Ed Jones is back in, 72. First down, Pittsburgh on their 44. They're ahead, 21-17, the last minute of the third quarter. Quick hitch pass, struck the ground in front of Lynn Swann. He knew it, he just knelt there. He didn't want to get up and have somebody hit him. Second down, 10 on the Pittsburgh 44.
You mentioned earlier, Kurt, that Stallworth may have been injured. It was the same injury. He still has those leg cramps, and even though they can go away sporadically, it's hard to get rid of them for the whole game. Look who's there.
Danny White. He had an excellent second half against Atlanta. Big game against the New York Jets. Last regular game of the season. Second down, 10. Drop, no good. No good. Lynn Swann on it, right there with him is Cliff Harris, one of the hardest hitters in football.
He doesn't even want him to touch any part of it, whether it counts or not.
Bum Phillips made a quote about Lynn Swann. It's impossible for him to drop one. They didn't hold on to this one.
He didn't drop it either. He got a lot of help from behind. That's just good coverage by Barnes. He's played a very good game defensively. Lynn Swann has been really pressed to make the big plays in order to get any yardage on his own. Nobody's given him much all day long. You see Charlie Waters concerned about the deep pass, allowing Benny Barnes to come up and force quickly.
44 seconds remain in the third quarter. Third down, 10, Pittsburgh.
Blitz.
Look at the rush on. And Randy White hopped right on him. Randy White decks him.
They call him the Manster. Part man, part monster. He'd been contained early in the game, but Randy White said, hey, my turn, guys. He blows to the outside. You see Davis trying to keep him out there, but really just keeps penetrating until he finally gets a shot as Bradshaw tries to come up through the middle.
He had a blitz from Randy Hughes there. Now Colquitt doesn't want to punt. He'd rather they change goal, but he has to kick against the wind with 29 seconds to go in the third period. Pittsburgh will have the wind at their backs in the fourth quarter. And the kick's away. It is a good one. Butch Johnson to the 6, 10, 15, 20. And plows his way back. An excellent return by Butch Johnson. Boy, that was just sheer guts the way he came back from his own 6-yard line. NBC Sports World Pro Skiing Championships from Aspen. They're going to have some of the top people in the world there. The top downhill veteran, Walter Tresh. And one of the best for America, David Courier. Jungle Jim Hunter from Canada, defending downhill champ. Airs 4 to 6 Eastern Time. Sunday, January 28th on Sports World.
The downhillers coming down Buttermilk out at Aspen. That's going to be pretty exciting.
Dallas under 28, first down. 9 seconds to go in the third period. Dorsett getting away twice, 3 times. He stopped at the 30-yard line by Donnie Shell. It looks like some kind of electrotherapy being given.
It's a muscle stimulator that they've got on Benny Barnes' leg there. And what that does is flexes the muscles, tries to relax them.
That is the end of the third quarter of Super Bowl 13. Pittsburgh 21, Dallas 17.
This is an enlargement of a major IBM innovation, a computer chip that holds more information than any other of its type. Each of these memory circuits can store 1 bit of information, and there are over 64,000 on the chip. But what's really remarkable, this is its real size. This 1/4-inch chip can hold the names of about as many blood donors or bank accounts as a room-sized computer of 25 years ago. IBM developed it because the more information you can store on a chip, the lower the cost. With the chip, these new IBM computers can store information at 1/6 the price of 2 years ago. That's like going from $1 to less than 17 cents. In these days of inflation, this tiny IBM innovation can do a big job. IBM, helping put information to work for people.